All right. So, today we're going to be discussing the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Age Discrimination in Employment Acts. So, our group members, we have Josh Fulmer, Nicholas Diamond, Alexis Renaud, Michael Knecht, and Richard Kreshman. So, the Americans with Disabilities Act. All right. Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, is a federal civil rights law. It provides protection from discrimination against those with disabilities. It provides equal opportunities for every race, color, sex, national origin, and religion. The ADA guarantees people with disabilities have the same opportunities as everyone else, and it's a fair playing field for everyone to enjoy employment opportunities. All right, the origins of the ADA. It was signed into law in 1990, introduced by Senator Weicker and Representative Colo. It aimed to prevent discrimination and encourage equal opportunity. Now we're going to be talking about the Age Discrimination in Employment Act. So the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, or the ADEA, is also a federal civil rights law. It provides protection from workers aged 40 plus from discrimination. It introduced the fact that older workers were unjustifiably put at a disadvantage. Like I said before, once they hit that 40 plus mark, they were kind of told off. They were kind of, put aside for the younger generations, which is definitely a mistake. In some of the cases, we come to realize that the older workers have far more experience and far more knowledge than the young people give them credit for. So it applies to employers, labor organizations, and employment agencies, and it ensured equal opportunity for all older workers.
So, the origins of the Age Discrimination and Employment Act. It was originally passed by Congress in 1967. It was signed by President at the time Lyndon B. Johnson. It protects those, in specific those who are of the age of 40 or above, and it encourages employment to be based upon skills and experience. So the ADA impacts on employment law. It prohibits employers from discrimination. It mandates workplace ability, and it provides accommodations for all employees, which is key in the workplace in general. So now we're on to the current proposed legislation in Congress with the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. It provides legislation to improve disability benefits processing by the We Cannot Wait Act of 2023. It addresses delays in disability benefits processing, and it aims to provide funding to newly disabled individuals. So funding the newly disabled individuals would be really important because they're really not used to having that new disability, so having a little more money would be good for them.
The ADEA, which is Protecting Older Workers Against Discrimination Act, which is a discrimination act of 2023, which was basically made to amend the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967. It amends the ADEA, clarifying age can be a motivating factor regardless of other claims, and aligns burden of proof to other forms of employment discrimination. And some hot topics. The ADA proposed regulations for medical equipment, and the Title III application, which prohibits discrimination in public places, and it also be talked about in the statutes and regulations. And the ADEA, encouragement for economic and productivity benefits of older workers. And like I talked about on the last slide, Protecting Older Workers Against Discrimination Act of 2023, which is also makes it easier for workers to bring in age discrimination claims and reduces age-related biases, and also works as a safeguard in like the hiring process and promotions and benefits and wages and other stuff.
All right. So, moving forward, we're now going to be looking at some of the key statutes and regulations under both the ADA and the ADEA. So, these laws are divided into 5 different titles, each focusing on a specific protection or responsibility. So, Title I is regulated by the EEOC, and it ensures that people with disabilities are protected in the workplace. Title II and III are both overseen by the Department of Justice, and they extend protections to public services, transportation, and any public accommodations like in stores or restaurants. Title IV requires telecommunication companies to accommodate individuals with any hearing or speech disabilities. And then Title V focuses on the hiring of federal employees with disability. So the purpose of these regulations is to ensure equal rights for disabled individuals in every aspect of the public life. The ADA emphasizes that no citizen should face discrimination based upon their abilities, and each of these titles mandates a proactive measure, whether that's from the employers, businesses, or government entities to create an inclusive society.
My final thoughts. The ADA has huge impacts for those with disabilities, such as ramp entrances for those who need it. ADEA's impact forbids discrimination against people who are of the age of 40 and older. The way we can curb the stigma around age and disability is by promoting education about diverse disabilities. I believe a few future implications could be a flexible work options for both ADA and ADEA, because it would help them so they could have a few days in person and a few days online. I also believe we could improve technologies so we can make technologies easier for those who are older and those who have trouble. Also, if we made the technology easier, it would create more jobs for those who have disabilities. I believe our social advancements could be by making more diverse communities. Also, we could break the stereotypes, such like people with disabilities cannot work, because they can and they're very capable of it.